Hello, welcome, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Kaz, your host, here to bring you Episode 3, Part 4, the finals of Episode 3. We have two aircraft that have fought tooth and nail against the competition to get here, but only one continues to go on to the finals of the finals. The master fight at the end of the entire tournament. So, who's it going to be? Is it going to be the drones sent in by Android Elite, or is it going to be the AFX-105B sent in by Jim and Saw? Well, enough yammering by me. Let's go ahead and get down to the watchtower and the round table and get these aircraft into the air for round 1 of the finals. Now, before we start, I do want to take a little moment here to outline a change that's going to be coming to the rules of the competition soon. When the competition started, I wanted to test the KBF Plasma Stealth module to see if it was suitable for competition. And largely, it is fairly suitable for competition. The only problem is that it gets rid of 50%, if not more, options when it comes to missiles, as in it makes you effectively invisible or untargetable by radar-guided munitions. Now, that's obviously not something that I want to do. This competition is about making things available to have multiple different kinds of strategies and other such things. And if I'm effectively allowing a part that is making 50% of all possible options obsolete, then I think there's a bit of a problem. So, after the end of this episode, the KBF Plasma Stealth module will no longer be allowed in the competition moving forward. However, never fear, your buddy Kaz has a replacement part for you. It will be included soon in the Ace Combat mod pack that you can get on the Discord, and it will be called the IEWS module. You will be able to find it in the utility section, and rather than provide you with an ECM effect, it will provide you with, well, the effect of having stealth materials on your aircraft. So, you'll get that nice stealth feature without making radar-guided missiles and everything else completely obsolete. It also means that you will again be limited to using 2 ECM modules as per normal, and the ECM modules in VDA are very well known, and there's no real issue using 2 of them on any aircraft. It can make it very small and reduce your radar signature, but it shouldn't affect things to the degree where radar-guided missiles are no longer effective. In any case, I wanted to make sure that was perfectly clear before we got into the competition, and while I still have your attention. At least I hope I still have your attention. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and start round 1 of the finals. So, before we start the fight between these two fighters, you might also notice that the AFX-105B's name has changed from all of that to all of that and a number 1. That's because Jim and Saw, at the last possible second, just updated the AI settings and weapon settings of his aircraft, meaning he's got a bit of a new kit heading into the finals here. Let's see if that makes any kind of a difference as they get into round 1. Let's go ahead and light this thing off. So I did take a little bit of a peek at the changes. They're fine. It's a bit odd, though. There is a strange missile choice, perhaps as a future-proofing mechanism. Although, a bit of a questionable choice for now. Well, I don't know. Maybe they have something up their sleeve that I simply was not anticipating. I guess we'll have to find out. Either way, they should be starting the competition any second now. And there it is. And whoa! Arrow missiles being launched. That's very interesting. I'm fairly certain the arrow missiles there are actually radar guided, which I wouldn't think that radar guided missiles would be able to get much of a hit. Either way, that's a first launch from the Rapiers. However, now they're having to deal with close range aim 9s. Scattering looks like they're going to split apart. And now we have more Rapiers firing missiles. The first round of missiles is done. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. Holy mackerel. These Rapiers are definitely out for blood. Oh! And we have a very nice missile collision there. One of the keys getting absolutely just... Oh, jeez! Missile after missile being fired there. Although, that does mean they now have just... Well, I guess it is a 2v1, technically. Let's see what this drone can do here. Actually, let's get on the... Get here so we can see we have a bit of a conga line of death lining up. Although, this Rapier is the only one with missiles. And is flying very close to the terrain there. Hopefully the Rapier that's trailing his wingman is able to get some shots on the end of things. Uh-oh, that's never a good sign. And we have a flip book as that drone manages to get a very clean shot into the center of mass of that Rapier. We now have a one-on-one. This Rapier has no more missiles. We'll be relying completely on guns. Does manage to turn in. We have a bit of a gun joust. Jeez, both flying past each other, guns blazing. Oh man, it's gonna give me heart palpitations. Uh-oh, Rapier's gonna have to pull up. Means the key is in prime gun territory. However, it looks like it forgoes that in order to climb. Means the Rapier is now on the key's tail. Those Mausers leaving pink. Oh, we have a direct hit. Looks like the key is not terrifyingly affected by that, though. However, I may have spoken too soon, as it is chased into the ground by the Rapier. An amazingly cool first fight from these two aircraft. And definitely not one I was expecting. Alright, well, let's get this into round 2, ladies and gentlemen. So, here we are at the start of round 2. I apologize if there's a little extra noise in the background. It's very hot right now, and we may have a fan going to keep things cool. In any case, this is actually after a game crash. So, the first was after I had to reset the game to make sure that the new version of the Rapiers were on the field, and now this is another restart. So, Android, you can't complain about the game needing to be restarted, because this is now the second fresh restart that this fight is taking place on. So, let's get him into the air and see if the Rapier can pull off a 2-win victory here. Now, I did in fact check the files, and those big extra missiles that the well, not extra missiles, the extra big missiles that the Rapiers are carrying are in fact radar-guided munitions. I'm actually impressed that they're able to lock on at all, considering the effectiveness of the plasma stealth module, which is still, for the moment, allowed. And again, those arrows have launched. All 4 of the arrows have launched, allowing the Rapiers to close in. That's the real benefit of using any kind of radar-guided munitions and allowing them to track on targets. All right. After that, now we have aim 9s, or a single. Okay, there we go. There's the other aim 9 being fired. And looks like we have a little bit of a clip on one of those rapiers. Ooh, a little more than a clip, it looks like. Hard to tell exactly, but looks like the engines may have been taken out. And at the same time, looks like that Reaper... Not Reaper. Sorry, that was one of the android's other designs. Looks like that key managed to get taken out, perhaps by a missile. The other Rapier is on its tail. And a very clean hit. Very glancing blow. Those aphids are very nasty little missiles, but they don't have the same kind of punch that aim 9s do. They trade off a bit of that effectiveness for the lower weight, although they can still be quite deadly. In that case, it looks like it managed to clip just near the edge of the wing. Oh man, and a beautiful turn in on that Rapier. Getting behind, lighting it up with gunfire. We have an explosion. And more parts flying. And only one engine remaining, but it looks like it's lost its vertical stabilizers with that very pinpoint shot. Oh, that's not good. Rapier manages to get too close to the ground. Not really sure how to... Well, despite the fact that this key is heavily damaged, it's still in the air and does have munitions. If that Rapier hadn't hit the ground, I'm almost positive it would have won, but in this case, the round is going to have to go to the keys. That means one win apiece, ladies and gents, which means we're going on to a round 3. So we're back again for round 3 between these two fighters after many restarts and crashes, including a full reboot of my PC, just to make sure that everything is functioning correctly. So I am totally done with this. Let's get these two things into the air and hope they can kill each other in a very interesting and spectacular fashion. There's not really much more for me to say right now, other than the fact that this competition should be starting very soon, right about now. Hey, good guess, Kaz. Alright, so we have those arrow missiles being launched first. Looks like only 2 of them, however. That's interesting. Before they've managed to launch all 4 of theirs, even during the times before the game crashed. Looks like just now they're launching their second set of arrow missiles. This might potentially put them in a very different, very interesting position. I know I keep saying that. However, putting the drones immediately onto a defensive, allowing them to close in. Oh, immediately going for the kill. We had lag. Does that mean we had... And one drone has been picked apart by gunfire. Looks like that restart on my PC may have made all the difference for these fighters. there's that thing in the whole scientific method where sometimes outcomes can be due to initial conditions, and simply by launching their missiles at a more staggered rate, it is possible that these rapiers have gotten enough of an upper hand to allow them to win. Although that said, this is now effectively a 1v1. Let's just hope that they can make the most of that. What are they doing? I've never seen them deploy their air brakes like that. That's not good. For the rapier, that is. Now running on just one engine. I doubt it's going to be nimble enough to be able to avoid the shots from the drone. Indeed it is not. It has lost another wing. The drone nearly colliding. However, we've seen in the past that those rapiers are rather... And it's heading for the ground. They're rather fragile with just that one wing. They don't have enough control authority. The rapier is fighting hard to keep itself in the air. But unfortunately, that's just going to make it a tasty target for the drone to fly in and take it out for the end of Episode 3. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the winner is, in fact, the drones sent in by Android Elite. They will be going on to the grand finale. When exactly that's going to be, I don't know. It depends on whether or not we continue to have crafts sent in at a decent rate. But one thing is for sure. I certainly won't be counting out any of Jim and Saw's designs in the future. And congratulations to Android Elite, who has his finest aircraft so far, moving on to the finals. Either way, I've been Kaz, and I can finally bring this episode to a close.